Are you all right, Captain Hastings?
Yes, I'm okay.
What was all that about, Mr. Mikado?
Why do you ask me? The man is mad, obviously.
He said he was going to avenge his brother.
What brother? I do not know any brother.
What kind of a place have I come to? For years, I've lived in fear of being murdered.
Well, you can't mean it.
I assure you, Captain Hastings, that I do.
Murdered by whom, Madam Lydell?
When I was a girl of 20, I married a young man in our State Department, Frederick Bosner. I hardly knew him, I suppose. It was one of those foolish wartime marriages. We'd only been married a few days, and he went away. I never saw him again. Frederick was killed in the war, but he was killed in America. He was shot as a spy. It was terrible. Terrible. And then, about 3 months later, an amazing thing happened.
I am waiting for you. If you ever marry another man, I will kill you. Signed, Frederick.
But he's supposed to come from your husband, who is dead.
Exactly. I thought I was mad or dreaming. Eventually, I went to my father. He worked in the State Department, too. He admitted the truth. My husband hadn't been shot at all. He'd escaped. The State Department had covered it all up anyway, and he was trying to protect me. But then, Frederick had been killed in a train wreck a few weeks after his escape, and he saw no reason to burden me with the knowledge. I shouldn't have told you this. I just thought you were someone I could talk to. A comparative stranger, just here for a few days.
And you say now that you have received more of these letters?
Some years ago, when I got engaged to be married, a whole flurry of letters started. I couldn't bear it. I broke off the engagement. It seemed that every time I became even friendly with another man, I was warned off. And then there was silence for years. I met Eric and we got engaged. Nothing. We married. Nothing. And then, 3 weeks ago, I got this.
I have arrived. But if this isn't your former husband, who is it?
I don't know. Frederick had a much younger brother named William. He was an unstable child, but he adored Frederick. Perhaps he feels that any involvement I have with another man is somehow betraying his brother's memory.
And this William Bosner, you think that for this he might still be seeking the vengeance?
The same night I received that, I saw the face at that window.
No!
For the first time.
No!
A dead face.
I really don't understand why you're leaving, Poirot, after all Mrs. Leidner told us this morning. I mean to say, there's a damsel in distress, if you like.
We're all in bally distress this year. You wouldn't believe what a difference there is. There's Carey. Even he was quite cheerful last year. Believe it or not. He's worked with Leidner for years, of course. So's Annie Johnson. She blames Mrs. Leidner. Thinks her presence spoils everything.
Is that your opinion, Monsieur Coleman?
No. She's just jealous. She used to run round after old Leidner, darning his socks and making him tea in the old days. I suppose she feels a bit inhibited with Mrs. Leidner around. Whoops! That was a good one.
We don't have to get there in 5 minutes, you know.
Oh, that's half the fun of this run. You're getting old, Uncle Arthur.
Speaking for myself, Monsieur Coleman, I have aged 10 years since I entered this automobile.
It's none of your damn business how I behave.
Of course it's my business.
Now you listen to me, Mr. Richard Carey.
Oh, there you are, Louise.
I thought Miss Johnson might be up here.
She's just going out to the dig.
Oh, good. I'll try and catch her.
How you doing there, Richard? I'll give you a hand.
I'll post those letters now.
Thank you. Oh, tell me, Monsieur Coleman, do you recognize this handwriting?
It's the lovely Louise's.
Madame Ladner?
Yes. Why?
No, nothing. It just reminded me of the handwriting that I saw recently of someone else.
Good Lord.
Why would she write threatening letters to herself?
Oh, I think that would be an assumption too great to make, Hastings, on the grounds of the similarity of the handwritings. But if it were so, it would not be an occurrence unheard.
Pretty ruddy silly, if you ask me.
Ah, well, if only people would ask you, Hastings, they would refrain from the ruddy silliness, huh? Good night, Hastings.
Good night, Poirot.
Monsieur, the key to my room, if you please.
Certainly, Monsieur Poirot.
The Countess Rozakov, she has returned yet to the hotel?
Not yet, Monsieur Poirot.
Merci.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, Sheila. You're a long way from home.
If Muhammad won't go to the mountain. Why do you never come into Baghdad?
There's nothing in Baghdad that interests me particularly.
Really? I'm sure we could.
Sheila, don't say another word. I am very nearly old enough to be your father.
I wasn't saying anything. I don't know what you're talking about. It must be the sun or something. Seems to have gone to your head.